Hey everyone, I hope you all are having a great time. Today I'm going to share this CSS audio 2TD-X review, building this speaker and overall sound quality that I listen in my system here in my room. So I would like to start with the building process of these tower speakers, CSS Audio 2TD-X towers with the superior crossover parts. So overall, parts quality is very good. I mean, very impressively good for what we can get in this price point, especially compared to mass-produced any $2,000-$3,000, even up to $5,000 range of tower speakers. Other than that, Parts Express binding post that I'm not really big fan of. So building process was very easy and straightforward from starting. I started with the crossover and assembled the cabinet and final finishing, and all the process was straightforward and pretty easy, I would say, because I mean veneering process can be hard if you go hard way like iron on or vacuum bag and all that. If you know how to do it, it's great. But in my opinion, all you need is the paper bag veneer sheets, because paper bag veneers are easier to handle. The reason is they don't crack or they don't break easily compared to pure just a wood sheet of veneer. So that's the difference between paper bag and regular veneer. And also the contact cement method is easiest way, because you can adjust the position as much as you want, then just press it down so you got that nice contact and very strong bond that it will never break up. So that's why I prefer that method. After I finished building these speakers, I brought them in from my garage and I placed them next to my KEF R11. That was a huge mistake. I underestimated these 2TD-X towers because it was too close to the walls. Okay, KEF R11 can put like a little over 3 feet from the wall behind me without any major downside, because it has the port distribution in two different locations. This 2TD-X is a very different story. So if I put this 2TD-X towers next to KEF R11 or same position as R11, it will not work. Bass get really boomy and no proper definition that we can enjoy listening to. So I move them out and I put front of the KEF R11, so it's little over like almost 9 feet apart and almost 6 feet behind the speakers from the wall, and it totally changed the overall soundscape and sound reproduction. So I towed them in around like 25 to 28 degree toe in. Then I was able to achieve very good stereo image with very musical, incredibly good soundscape and skill that we can enjoy listening to our music. So pairing components, I use my main amplifier Deno PMA SX11, which has the neutral sound with a little bit of warmer side of a neutral sound quality with incredible driving power. And my main music server is this Sony HAP-Z1ES, which has the very neutral sounding sound quality that it can provide with incredible range of resolution that it can produce. Most famous amplifiers and speaker designer use it as their reference, their reference standard, because they love the way it can produce. Not only the sound quality, it can produce very neutral and accurate sound that when they design the components, they can properly hear the way that they intended to. The Mr. Pass uses this HAP-Z1ES. Then I pair them with different components as well, using my MacBook Pro Audio Havana, and I try with my Musician Audio Draco R2R deck, which turns out pretty badly with this 2TD-X because the warmish and a little bit slight forwardness on that R2R deck doesn't work well with this 2TD-X, and is overly thick in the upper mid-range area, and it has the uneven sound stage and stereo image that I don't enjoy. And I also try with the SML's DO200 deck I reviewed recently, which turns out really nice, but it's also, overly warm and lacks the definitions that I would love. So I went back with this Sony HAP-Z1ES pairing with this 2TD-X towers. That is another point that I would like to make, because these speakers really need neutral and natural sounding front end component. It will totally affect the sound quality of sound reproduction of these tower speakers. Some people say these tower speakers are high, the highs are roll off and this and that. Probably they don't have the neutral sounding component. That's how I will say these speakers are nowhere near rolled off in any region. It can produce every note properly with the really flat measure of frequency response in this room. Okay, better than any speakers I have ever measured in this room. The CSS 2TD-X and CSS 1TD-X has the very identical measurement, other than I will show the graph here. You will see the different in loudness in two lines that I measure, because I just want to show you different in sensitivity bookshelf and these towers. So that's where the difference are. The sensitivity rating is different. Other than that, they are very identical. So CSS audio is totally right about these 2TD-X towers are 1TD-X on steroids. I totally understand that point. So I'm going to play a frequency test from 10 Hz here. It's 10 Hz, no port noise. This is 20 Hz. It has a slight, very tiny bit of port noise. 25 Hz. 30 Hz. 40 Hz. That's the frequency response that this guy can do. 2TD-X tower can produce that much of a lowest of the notes do, the very responsive notes in this room. So my volume control knob at 11 o'clock position. While I'm reviewing this, I'm going to leave it at it, because you will not, or I will not hear any hiss or any sort of background noise. This PMA SX11 is super quiet, and this speaker is very good. It doesn't have any sort of noise, and very good quality parts that they use. Tonal balance is a very good neutral, but it will be on the richer side of a neutral sound, with the fuller and deeper bass quality, with deeper soundstage compared to any other speaker in that price point. Let's say if you have a $4,000 pair of speakers, probably you will have very hard time competing with this 2TD-X tower, regardless of a 3-way or 2.5-way. This is a 2-way speakers. With this 25-degree toe in, this much of a space between the speakers, when I listen in there at the my camera position, so the singer will be right here, so dead center. So that good stereo image, that's probably due to their 2-way design and the incredibly good drivers integration. I have to give it to CSS Audio for bringing in and giving us that much of sound quality in this price point. That is one of the hardest thing to beat when it's come to sound quality and sound reproduction with great stereo image in this price point. Bass is deep and rich bass quality. It has a very good amount of fast response with tightness to it. not as tight as the 1TD-X can do. I try them back to back. Then 1TD-X have the slightly faster and tightness on bass response, but this 2TD-X have the deeper and richer bass quality, yet very good attack and tight quality or tight bass quality as well. So those are the benefits of having these two type of speakers. So if you have a smaller space, 1TD-X will be better choice. If you have mid to larger room, this 2TD-X towers will deliver you incredible performance without even using subwoofers. From mid-range to upper mid-range region, it has a very nice neutral sound reproduction with accurate sound signature, yet it has a slight hint of a richness on overall frequency, overall sound reproduction in that frequency range, especially human voices, female or male voices. It adds the slight richness to it, but not overly rich in tonality or sound reproduction, just a little bit of richer sound quality enhancement that draws you into music enjoyment, so which is really good thing to have. And then also upper mid-range to lower highs, transition areas seamlessly transition with very good scale and dynamic range. When it's come to instrument separation, that is a little downside of two-way tower speakers in my opinion. Instrument separation, they may not be as good as a proper three-way design in spacious notes and instrument separation, especially in that mid-range to lower highs area. So when I was listening this 2TD-X with the my KEF R11 back to back, that's where the major difference is, and also overall resolution and definition of each frequency response and notes are more spacious on KEF R11 with more extension and more spaciousness. So that's where the differences are. 2TD-X has a slightly more togetherness, slight richer tonality with kind of sound that really give you better experience listening your music for a long section. As long as you have the neutral sounding front end component, nothing is rolled off, everything will reproduce properly, accurately, naturally as possible with slight hint of richness on overall frequency range, particularly noticeable in mid-range to lower highs region. So overall highs are pretty nice. I mean, it has the slightly enhanced airiness that I can feel it. Regardless of a material of dome tweeter, it has a nicely spacious sound. So out of curiosity, I tried with the Aperion Audio Dual AMD Super Tweeter. I started around like 8,000 hertz. It's too obvious, so keep on tuning it, and I set it at the 12,000 hertz, which has a really nice blend of a high frequency and airiness and brilliance in that brilliance area without noticing that high frequency super tweeter. So that really enhanced at the airiness. But if you ask me, do I prefer with or without it? I prefer without it. It has a more dynamic and more engaging. But if you like more airiness, you can add the super tweeters if you like. So based on my extensive listening and extensive frequency testing, and also as well as measuring them in this room, this speaker is true game changer. I mean, for less than $2,000, you can build true high-end sound reproduction without spending thousands of dollars. At least to get the better sound than this in tower speakers offering, probably you have to go with something like KEF R7 or something, but it will lack the bass quality compared to this 2TD-X. So that's quick comparison that readily available mass-produced offering. So overall, sound quality, experience, and sound reproduction, I can totally live with this. I'm seriously thinking of it, okay? Because I love the way they sound. I love the way they look because I built it. So build quality is one of the best ever because I built it. Spend less than $2,000 and you get the best possible sound. If someone said high frequency are rolled off, then something in the audio chain is making it, not the speaker. I would say any genre of music, they will sound great. From smooth jazz to heavy metal, I mean, any sort of heavy metal, I try that. And even like I try with some sort of, progressive and all that alternative and everything. I mean, they sounded incredibly good. And also I tried the orchestra music and they sounded phenomenal. I mean, as long as you have the neutral front end, they will deliver the sound quality and sound reproduction back to you with true, honest sound reproduction without holding anything back, as long as all the frequencies are their capable frequency range. So incredible sound and sound reproduction. Overall soundscape is wide and spacious with deep soundstage and accurate sound reproduction. That is the easiest summary of these speakers. Most important thing is you have to have neutral front end. Otherwise, you may experience abnormal sound reproduction with, roll of high or thick mid-range or sloppy bass, etc. So these speakers are very sensitive to pairing front end component, not only your amplifier. If you pair them right, they are highly capable, very good sounding, and most importantly, musical sounding, engaging tonality with very impressive soundscape and skill that it can offer. You have to do it to believe it. True high-end, high-quality sound is like. So truly high-end sound quality for less than $2,000. Highly recommended, my friend. Thank you for watching and happy listening. When my eyes on you.